Hello everyone, welcome back again to my channel, and this is same series of clean architecture with CQRS pattern and Mediator R. Okay, so far we have actually covered all the layer implementation, but now in this session we'll actually implement that user interface. Okay, so API layer. Okay, we use the .NET web API to implement up clean architecture. How we can use that clean architecture in this .NET web API. Okay, so in this session actually we'll cover this two session. Okay, means two functionality like get all blocks and get by ID. Okay, so let us start with the demo. Okay, let me zoom in. Okay, so we'll actually implement this two endpoint that get blocks, all blocks. Okay, list of the blocks, and then other one is list no, get blocks by ID and the single blocks based on the ID. Okay, so what we'll achieve? Let once you click that get, you will get the data of the list of the data of blocks, and similar to once you pass some ID. If it is exists, so it will returning to you. If it is not, then it will returning the 404. Or if you give the valid data, so definitely you will get the data. Okay, so let's get start to implementation. Okay, so far actually we have covered like domain layer. We have implement you know blog entity repository, then also we have covered infrastructure layer, we have create db context, we have implement of blog repository, and also inject to db context. How can inject a db context and get this also resolve the dependency injection. Okay, everything's we have done so far. If you are visit first time in my channel, so definitely especially I mean recommend to you to go to my channel. Okay, and search my name, like my channel name. Okay, and go to that clean architecture series. And before proceeding this session, so you have to know like how we can create our architecture, how we can implement the layer by layers, everything. Like see, those are actually session one by one session I just covered. Okay, or also you can go that playlist. In this playlist also you have to see this this section. Like here's a many items we have, or many session actually we have put on this inside this playlist. Okay, okay, so let's get started. So basically what need to do first in this user interface web API. Okay, so first we have to create one controller. So let's make create one controller name. uh, let's make create one controller name is it create controller. Okay, it is should be API controller because it's an API. So don't worry about that, I just implement an API as of now in this demonstration. But yeah, later on we'll implement also how we can use that web application like in Embassy, and that clean architecture also, how we can use this API in our Angular, or how can we use that clean architecture in mobile .NET MyU applications. Okay, so don't worry, everything will do in upcoming session. Okay, so let me create a empty API controller. Let me put some name over here, like for example it is a blog controller, so let me name is a blog. Okay, so firstly what I need to do first, actually see, this is a CQRS pattern. Okay, so in this CQRS pattern, so I already explained actually why mediator are, and how we can call that uh, why mediator are we need to use to in CQRS pattern. Okay, so I already explained. If you don't know, so go to my first session. And actually first I need to create a mediator art, so that our mediator art job would be like in the controller, they will send a request and get that response for this application layer. Okay, without any dependency. Okay, so how we can do that? Let me create one more class. Okay, and class, or just you can say as a controller. Okay, the name is again API controller. Name should be an API controller. API controller base. Okay, let me put as a base controller. Okay, and let me change to abstract so that this can be inherit, other all the controller, and we can use it very easily. And also implement, declaration should be here and implementation should be there. Okay, so that's why we put an abstract method. Okay, and what I need to do, I need to just create one mediator. Okay, so I sender, let me call it to mediator. Let me create a private variable, so let me name is as a with the underscore mediator. Okay, and then finally what need to do, I need to create a declaration protected and I okay, and then create a variable of that mediator. Okay, and then pass it to lambda function, and then assign to that private variable. Okay, and after that, if it is null, okay, also we have to pass some condition. If it is null, so definitely it should be some, status like http context dot request. So yeah, uh, request services. Okay, and call it a method. Okay, get required service, and then pass it to iSender. Okay, so that okay, let me change it to this too, and set. Okay, so that's see if it is null, so just similar as a function, like, okay, we set as a, the condition, like if it is mediator would be null, so definitely, create an instance of that, that for the current that current required service like iService. Okay, so just initiate a method on this API control base controller. Okay, and what I need to do, this should be called to any other controller, all the controllers, so that I can easily, change to here to that controller name, so that I can implement that functionality or that method and call to our uh, application layer. Okay, so how we can do that, it is very simple again, without dependency, inject the dependency. So first I need to create a one get method. Okay, let me create a sync task, then i action result, and the method name would be, the endpoint name would be get all. Okay, get all async. Okay, and finally our implementation. So how we can do that, it is very simple. Let me create a variable. Okay, blogs. Okay, and now I want to call our service. Okay, that mediator service. So where I will get this, will we get from this in our base controller. So let me call that name whatever we created, and then call the send function. And this send function actually asks to send a request. Okay, so I will send a request, whatever our request. So what is our query class? The request query class is that which we have implement in our application layer. See, if you go to blocks in the query, so I want to call this guy. So if you go, so this is that query class of request query class. So get blog query, so this I need to call in our API. controller. Okay, so let me call this directly, and that's it. Okay, and see whatever we are get, this is whatever return type, it is a block view model. Okay, so block view model is the returning type. So simply what need to do, return okay, call the okay method and pass it to our whatever data is getting. Okay, and this is just implementation perspective done, but see, there's need to do something actually for the DB creation. So if you also watch my previous session, so in the infrastructure layer actually, see, I just created a DB context, but our contexts are ready, but DB is not generated. Okay, so DB, I need to create a DB. Okay, so how we can do that? Okay, also if you go to my configuration, see, I use actually SQLite. So in this SQLite I have to pass that correction string, and then our DB will be generated based on this. Okay, so how we can achieve that? So go to your application settings.json file. Okay, first what need to do, I need to create a connection string. Okay, so let me copy that name. Okay, so that we can save our time. Okay, so see, simply I just put a variable as a connection string. Inside the connection string I put a name like blog db context. Okay, and I as a SQLite connection string, actually we have to pass like that data source. Where is our data source? This is our data source. Whatever you name you want to change, you can put over here. Okay, I just put like this way. Okay, you can change as per your convenience. Okay, this is first setting is done. Now what I need to do, I need to check like all the references also is there or not. So let's see, there's a two references very important, like one is infrastructure layer and second one is a application layer. Okay, the two references is done, so that part also good. So now what need to do, I need to fire two commands so that I can generate our DB. Okay, so how we can do that? It is very simple, but first I think I need to, okay, no, I already actually just configured that dependency, layer wise dependency. I resolve that dependency over here. Okay, so nothing I need to do as of now. Okay, so let me just fire these two commands so that our DB can generate it. Okay, or before generating DBs, let me show you to run our application how is this actually behaving. Okay, so that you can understand, okay, why I need to fire those command, why I need to generate those DB. Okay, so let me set the startup of API project. Okay, and let me run this project. Okay, see, this one I create a one endpoint, so this is a default one. Okay, so let me try out and execute. See, it is saying blog context is not found, just because till we have not migrated our DB or we have not generated our DB. Okay, so this will be empty. Okay, so how we can achieve that things? So it is very simple. Go to right click and go to manage console. Actually you can go to directly over here as well, package manage console. Okay, you can open this package manage console tab directly over here, but I think here it should option as well, package manage console, it's not there. Okay, if it is not there, so directly you can use other option here as well in the tools. In here, see, package manage console. Okay, so you can go like two way, like from here and here also. Okay, so what I need to do, I need to see, our where is our entity. Okay, so our entity class is here, infrastructure layer. So what I need to do, this is important actually, you have to uh, carefully do that actually. Without your setting it, the db will not generate it, because see, our there's a many layer. Okay, but in the infrastructure layer we are actually, I generate our db context. So I need to set the db context class, and default project is that, and the main project should be our api layer. Okay, this two. And also there is a one another things actually, we can directly put that command like, okay, one the primary is this, and then default is should be like that. There's another command, but yeah, this is the easy way, so I'm just showing you. Okay, so what I need to add, migration and then tab. So see, once you add and tab, add and hyphen migration, so you it will show you the that command name. Okay, and then what I need to do, just first initiate, first initiate initiate initial. Okay, initial, and just add hit. It is asking me is does not design. Okay, so one thing actually missing, that this package. Okay, the package which we are looking as well actually in the starting. Okay, so this package actually missing the Microsoft extended tool, because those command will work, because we are firing on this application user interface, right? So in this user interface this command will fire required that one package. The name is this entity framework tool. Okay, so let me add the tool, um, manage NuGet package, browse, name is Microsoft entity framework tool. Okay, and then install, apply, accept, done. Okay, once it's done, let me make sure like it is there. Okay, see, this one is there. Let me zoom in so that you can download and install easily. Okay, and now again go to package console. Let me add migrate that first initial, then hit enter. See, again it's saying block db context is not found. Okay, so something is wrong happening in my application, so that need to figuring out. Okay, so that could be happen, like might we have had many things, so could be happen like we have missed something. So that also you have to know, like, okay, some kind of in things if we are missing, so how we can resolve it. Okay, so it is saying that block context not found, like connection is string, block context not found, that means connection is string data, it is not found. So let me check. Our name is, see, the name is wrong. Okay, in here whatever I pass it, or just whatever I just here mention in this configuration, that is mismatch. Okay, so ideally you have to do this to change to here, or this to change to there. So I would like to suggest change to this to there. Okay, just change to there, and let me fire one more time. Okay, see, the start succeed and undo the section, that means your migration has been done. So let me verify what actually migrates. So see, once migration done, so this folder will be generated. Let me zoom in for you. Okay, this folder will be generated. Inside this folder actually, see, the two class means two file will be generated also. One is that that snapshot, and one is another one is that whatever our query or whatever our entity. Okay, so see, in this here it generated create table, its block table will be generated with this parameter. Okay, and down also there up and down actually. So see, there's a up and down, so it is created. automatically, and also in this snapshot you are able to see that actually what is that integer, which property it integer, which property that, whatever things actually these are there. Okay, so this is done. And finally one last command we have to do over here, then update database. Okay, so see, once you put that update and then tab, you will you will to see that many command. Okay, so what I need to use here, I need to use update database, so that, so this, see, this is just generated. Okay, add migration just generated your data. Okay, but once without upgradation it will not create, insert in your DB. Okay, so let me add, means hit this command. So see, the it's generating. Okay, you can verify as well. Okay, see, so see, this DB is generated, SQL DB is generated. Okay, and if you open this DB, okay, so let me open our tools. I have a tool, SQLite tools, so that we can check as well, like whatever entity is actually generated. Okay, so remove this guy, remove database, the old one. Okay, and just add a database, choose. Okay, where is our location? So our location is clean architecture, not this one, clean architecture short one actually. Yes, this one, clean architecture. Inside the API folder, this is a DB. Okay, and just okay, double click, blog. See, there's three properties generated as of now. Let me check there is a data or not. Let me fire one query, the data, or there should be some fire query as well. Add a query, let me find that query section. Yeah, this is that insert query or delete query. Okay, will comes later over here, but yeah, first I think we have to check that query section. Where is that query section? Okay, so this is that section actually. This is tool of SQLite Studio. Inside this open SQL editor, here you can just select star from blocks, and you can just find a query like is there any data or not. Yeah, there's no data. So what I can do, I can, okay, what I can do, I can just run our application. Okay, and let me see, uh, try out, get the data. See, there is no data because as of now we don't have any data. So let me insert one data as well. Okay, so how we can do that, I think there's an option also. We can insert, like I want to insert one. Okay, and ID, I think automatic should update, so let me name is C sharp. The name is something description, author is KKP. Okay, and just add. Okay, so let me again fire that query, select star from blogs, let me fire. Yeah, now is one data over there. So let me again fire our API, execute. See, the data is over there. Let me debug so that you can understand the flow, how is actually uh, working, like how is actually the, and actually flow is working, like that, mediator how is working, and CQRS pattern how is working. Okay, so let me debug over here. Okay, let me debug finally over here. Okay, and let me debug. Okay, let me execute. See, debugger is here. Go to here and go to that class, go to implementation. Okay, click here, Okay, there is no, we can't put over here, but yeah, where I can handle this request, you can put debugger over there. So let me open the query and handler. Okay, so put over here. Okay, and let me F10. See, once you have done, your request is here, and whatever request over here, nothing, just get the data from the your, you know, in this here blog repository. Okay, if you want to go here as well, I can go to here as well, just for understanding purpose. Let me again F10, go to here, F10. See, the repository in this blog repository is reaching to, infrastructure layer in repository, and here it will get the data directly for the DB. Okay, and get the data. See, data is over here, whatever data, and thus returning to here. Also it is mapped. See, data is getting from the repository, then mapping also to view model. Okay, right now it's converting as a view model, and then return back to our controller. Okay, and finally you are able to see the data, whatever data is there, and just continue. See, data is here, 200 request. Okay, so this is actually flow of CQRS pattern with Mediator R. uh, Mediator. Okay, so let me implement another get request. So this is a get all blocks, but I need to implement, in this session, that get block by ID. It is similar kind of functionality I need to do. What I need to do, just another get endpoint. Okay, but in this time we want to get the data uh, by the ID. Okay, so what need to do, I need to pass. Okay, I need to pass as a ID. So it is a route parameter ID. I think if you don't know about that, how we can route parameter and things. So I have old session in for the web API session, so you can go and check out and understand, okay, how is that working, that web API router section. Okay, so this is done. Then public, also async, and then task, and then result. Okay, I action result, and then finally call to get by ID async. Okay, and then finally pass to that ID, so that whatever URI parameter will map to over here in this parameter. Okay, we have to pass same whatever we have used over here. Okay, so ID, and then similar again, we have to call, we have to store data, we have to store one, we have to create a variable, local variable like blog, and then call to our mediator. Okay, mediator call that query, mediator send method, and inside the send method we have to call our this, query request uh, class. Okay, so what is the name of that? Get query get block by ID. Okay, and inside here we have actually, if you go to implementation, see, we need to pass, one parameter. Okay, so how we can pass it? It is very simple. Like, see, it is already there. Just whatever class, just close that class, create instance, and then you have to pass that, you know blog ID as a whatever input from the UI. Okay, this is done. And finally, what I need to check, actually there is a need to check one thing. I need to check if this blog is null. Suppose might be sometime this ID is not match in our DB, so that time I need to return actually bad, return to not found, because data is not found. So we can return to this, and otherwise just return okay. Okay, so this is also done. I want to just remove actually that default controller also. Just I want to delete actually. the default controller, so that no confusion. Okay, so yes, so let me run again. Okay, now see, this another endpoint also get created. So let me try. If I pass to, if I don't pass anything, so it will saying okay, it is a validation. Okay, also if I pass something is not match, so suppose 6 is not match, so it will shows the 404. Or if it is match, I think there's a one id 1 is there exists, so see, if it is there, so 1 is returning. Okay, so both are working. Okay, so on this session, that is sufficient. Okay, and in upcoming session we'll cover that, insert, update, delete. Okay, those are things we'll cover in next session. So till now, thank you, have a nice day, and please don't forget to subscribe.